Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio. You're listening to Nelson Radio. This segment brought to you by Insurance Incorporated.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. We are broadcasting remote from the Kappe home, and this is going to be a fabulous 6-show panel that we're going to look at the iconic homes of Southern California. And I'm co-hosting, of course, with Brett Miller.
How are you today, Nelson?
Peninsula Sotheby's real estate professional, ex-NFL lineman. A lot of ex in NFL linemen. A few years removed, right?
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
Dozen. Is tennis a sport or a game?
That's a great lead-in.
That's a great outtake. And we're also with Gerard Bizignano, the co-owner of Peninsula Sotheby's, and really the quarterback for this show and this series as we take a look. And I think what's exciting, Brett, is that for you and I that are, or at least I'll speak for myself, architectural novice, but I have this whole world that's opening up. And to see the art, as you referenced in our opening segment, the art behind this, and seeing the mission and vision and design behind something, and how
the
it
passion,
comes, and the passion,
the whole package. Gerard has the whole package, and we're so lucky to be sitting here with Ray and Shelley. I am a novice. I'm doing my best to bring myself up to speed because it's such a great world that Gerard has introduced me to. It's brought my passion back, and
with that, Gerard, I want you to share a little bit of a history about our guests, our hosts, those that have been so gracious to open up their home.
Well, yeah, right. And, I just want to reference one thing. We had talked about Southern California and the architecture here, and it's a great intro to as we talk about Ray. Los Angeles has been influenced by true architectural giants. Some of the past masters like Neutra, Schindler, and Frank Lloyd Wright, and that list goes on. And then some of the current masters like Gehry, Tom Main, Tadeo Ando, and Ray Kappe. And then there's so much future talent. The fact of the matter is, Ray Kappe, with the help of his wonderful wife, Shelley, over the years, is a rock star in architecture, especially in Los Angeles. But the influence that he's had, SciArc, the homes that are around, the wonderful art that he's left and the legacy. I mean, what a way to start a show, a series on architecture, than to be able to sit with Ray and Shelley Kappe.
Ray, that's quite an introduction. I'm thinking that you're just doing what you love to do.
That's what I do. And that was a very nice introduction. Thank you, Gerard.
So it's been so many years, and since you've launched your career, give us a peek about yesteryear. What led to your start in architecture? What led to your interest?
Okay. How long do you have? Well, when I was a junior in high school, I was trying to decide what I would, do when I got to university. And when I was a young child, I did a lot of drawing. And I did artwork quite a bit until sort of sports took over. And then the artwork was a little bit less. And but in high school, I liked math and science. So I thought I'd be an engineer until one day I read a little bit more about architecture, and I thought, well, gee, this seems to be something that would really work well for me because it combines both the kinds of things that I thought architects should need. And when you don't know as much, you work in the simplest vein, which would be Mies van der Rohe is more easy to understand immediately. And as you get more mature, you can understand the work of people like Wright and maybe Alto later on. And so that's kind of the way I went about it. Now, that isn't the way everybody does it, but that was my way. So I would say all my predecessors were influences in a sense.
You're listening to Nelson Radio, and we have this tour of architecture across Southern California, the icons of yesteryear, the current iconic architecture that's being developed, and really where the industry is going. And with Brett Miller from Peninsula Sotheby's and Gerard Bizignano from Peninsula Sotheby's. And I wanted to ask you, Ray, did this always come natural to you, or was it a learned process?
Well, I think it's a learned process with a certain amount of natural ability. So for me, architecture is not treated really as art for me. It's problem solving.
Ray, I know you've designed over 100 homes in Los Angeles, along with commercial and commercial projects. When a client approaches you and asks about working with you, and they start to talk about their vision, what's the first question you will ask them?
Well, usually, after you get through just if you're talking about houses, after they've said, well, I want a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, etc. You're now talking about, one, size of the house, obviously. Two, material choices are important. And I usually let the owner lead on the materials. I don't really come in and impose what I prefer on them. But I try to limit them in terms of what are the major ones. I use a lot of glass, and I always have. And that's a material, and sometimes there's a masonry material or not. It depends over time. So all these things, I think, are important, and also trying to get their psychological response to space and whatever, if you can get any of that from them. So then any architect, I think, tries to pull from the client as much knowledge as they can. And some clients are very specific, and others are, just sort of a simple kind of a program.
Brett, I think inspiration is whether that comes from the client or comes from just the creative authority of someone like Ray Kappe. For you, you're inspired. You have a community of coaches that are shaping and forming and designing you. I had the same thing, but I think the root of it is inspiration.
It is, and the coaches tend to drive things. But, I think a collaborative effort always produces a superior product. And it sounds like Ray, even though he has his philosophy and his style, is willing to collaborate with the client based on their needs and blend the two to come up with a great product.
Well, architecture is a collaborative process. I mean, the architect is one piece of it. The client obviously is a piece of it. The contractor is also. The engineers that you work with. I mean, you work with many consultants, so it's not a one-person thing. Plus the fact you have people in your office who are working with you, and that's the synergistic aspect of it sometimes. I happen to be a person who likes to work sort of by myself first, and only become more involved once I've established where I'm going. I don't design synergistically, really. Some architects do.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, it's just some people work better that way, and I happen to be one that works more quietly off by myself until I'm ready to talk.
Right.
And isn't it interesting that someone that wants to work by himself has led the charge in founding the SciArc campus down in Los Angeles? So we're going to be talking about that in the next segment. I'm with Gerard Bizignano and Brett Miller from Peninsula Sotheby's. We're taking a look at the iconic homes, the architectural vision behind some spectacular homes right here in Southern California. You're listening to Nelson Radio. You'll be able to see each one of these properties as we paint the word picture on our website, nelsonradio.com. You can contact us direct, 888-888-2136. And Gerard, it's going to be exciting to understand what led to SciArc.
I look forward to hearing Ray telling us the story about the creation of SciArc.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. This segment brought to you by Insurance Incorporated. Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.